What's up guys, my name is Ace, and today we got a sneak peek at some of the maps that we're going to be expecting for Season 1 of Black Ops 6, and also I wanted to recap just a few things that happened over the weekend while I've been moving. I'm just getting settled in right now into my temporary office at the new house, so this is a good way to sort of ease back into it before I get into my more detailed breakdown videos that you guys typically expect from me. So just this morning, Call of Duty tweeted this short clip showing off 3 of the maps we can expect for Season 1. And it is worth noting here, they didn't say these are the 3 new maps that are coming. It says these are a few of the new maps coming to Black Ops 6 this season. So presumably that means we're going to be seeing more than just these 3. But with these for core 6v6 maps, we have Hideout and Extraction, and then Heirloom appears to be a Faceoff map since they describe it as a 6v6 and 2v2 map. And let's take a deeper look at each of these, and we'll start it off with Extraction, which does appear to be part of the Avalon map, which is the rumored next Warzone map that you can actually see if you go into a spectating mode or in theater mode on certain maps. If you zoom out, many of the Black Ops 6 multiplayer maps are contained within that, as well as some old maps from the past like Hacienda for instance, and a bunch of other points of interest where it looks like they are also going to be used as multiplayer maps. But with this one, I believe it's actually a bit smaller than it may look. You can see that street on the left-hand side. It looks like it's blocked off. I don't know if that's actually going to be a playable area at all, or if you'll have to just cut through that warehouse with the 1 on it. Additionally, that parking lot you can see in the background, I don't think that's part of the map at all as well. So if you remove all of that from the picture, it looks like this is going to be a fairly small map. And also, when you look at the helipad side of the map, there's not a whole lot of cover there, so it doesn't look like that's going to be an area where you see a whole lot of movement, and as a result, it looks like a lot of that fighting is just going to be taking place within that warehouse and a little bit behind that warehouse. And I know we obviously haven't seen too much of the map here. I'm making judgments based off of a very quick flyover, but as far as I can tell, it also appears this is going to be more like a 2-lane map rather than a 3-lane map. And as a result, just looking at this, I've got to say I don't really have the most positive initial impression toward Extraction. As for Hideout, this one does look to be fairly small for a 6v6 map, once again. And again, it does appear to be taking place on that same Warzone map. It's got very similar lighting and vegetation. I believe this is also going to be a point of interest on that Warzone map. And with this, I'm definitely liking what I'm seeing more here, based on the few clips that we've seen. Although, interestingly, it looks like that bottom right side of the map, that is not going to be part of a playable area where those 2 Jeeps are. And again, I can't help but think that this is looking a little bit more like a 2-lane map than a 3-lane map. Or if there are 3 lanes to it, it looks like it's not really distinct, separated 3 lanes, and instead 2 of the lanes are basically meshed together, which we've seen in some of the maps already in Black Ops 6. And I'm really not a fan of 2-lane maps. I like having that 3rd lane to spread things out a little bit and maybe actually get a flank in on enemy players. So while I'm feeling more positive about this one, and I do think this will be my favorite of these 3, I definitely still have a level of skepticism when it comes to this one. But of course, time will tell on that. Perhaps I am being a little bit too harsh. We'll have to wait to see how it actually plays out. But at least one thing we can very clearly see is this is yet another small 6v6 map. And I was really hoping for some more medium-sized maps to help dilute the pool of small maps in regular core modes. Because I do think that's one of the issues with the current launch set of maps of Black Ops 6 is we've got too many small maps mixed into the regular core modes, and if I'm looking for that crazy close quarters chaotic action, that's what Faceoff is for. I don't really want that to be spilling over too heavily into the standard 6v6 modes, but it seems like they're really committing to those smaller maps. In either case, this just leaves us with Heirloom, which seems to be taking place in a museum. We don't really get much of an indication of the general layout or size of this map, but it is described as a 6v6 and 2v2 map, so likely a face-off map, and that's pretty much all we can really tell from that. So that's the teaser we got today, and again, I do suspect we're going to be seeing more than just these 3 maps throughout the season, just based on how they worded that tweet. Just a reminder, if you guys aren't aware, Season 1 will be starting on November 14th, and that's also when the Warzone integration will happen. But if you're new to the channel here, just know I don't really cover Warzone at all. I just focus on multiplayer. So that's the first and main part of this video. However, like I said, there were a few things that happened over the weekend that I just wanted to give a recap on, just in case you guys haven't seen them yet. The first thing is Matt Schruntz has confirmed that a nerf to the Recon Combat Specialty, the one with wall hacks and high alert, that is coming. Now, we don't know exactly what they're going to be doing with this nerf or when this is going to be happening. I suspect they're going to be getting on top of this fairly quickly since it is a major complaint in the community. I'm seeing tons and tons of people talking about it. So I am curious to see when this happens as well as what they end up doing to nerf that. And then one last thing I wanted to cover here from a couple days ago is somebody on Twitter mentioned the SMGs are very, very underpowered. And Matt replied to this as well and said very is a bit dramatic, which I agree with. I've actually been using SMGs more than anything and finding plenty of success Yes, they drop off pretty harshly, they're not as versatile as the assault rifles on average, but it's not like you can't play super well with SMGs, you just gotta be a bit more careful than many other Call of Duty games as far as controlling your ranges goes. But in either case, Matt did say they've got some tuning incoming. So I suspect we will be seeing our first weapon balancing patch at some point throughout the week this week. That would be my best guess. And I know a lot of you guys have been asking, where are the gun guides? Why haven't I done any gun guides yet? My plan this year is to just wait at least for that first weapon balancing pass to go through, and then I will start my gun guide series. I just hate the idea of making a gun guide and then like 2 days later that gun gets like nerfed into the ground or just completely changed in some way. And then that video I made is just largely inaccurate at that point. I know patches are always going to end up coming. I just try to avoid that happening within a couple days of me uploading an episode on that. And on that note, this time around, I am planning on sharing a portion of my spreadsheet that I put together with all of the important stats for the weapons. I'm going to be sharing that alongside my gun guides in order to help you guys keep track of any changes that happen over time, since, yeah, they do end up happening, and that's kind of the unfortunate part of making videos on this, is that video is only necessarily accurate at that moment in time until that particular gun gets buffed or nerfed. And with that, that is going to wrap it up for today's video. Fairly quick one, basically just getting caught up on a few things here. Like I said, I'm still getting settled in right now. I don't have all of my setup fully plugged in and ready to go at this point. So I'm not really set up to do testing at the moment. And also, I haven't even been able to play Black Ops 6 for the entire weekend. I missed out on the whole double XP weekend, which is a bit unfortunate. But now that I'm getting set up here, we'll be getting back into the swing of things very shortly. And with that, I want to hear your thoughts on all of the stuff I talked about in today's video. Like, first off, how are you feeling about those 3 maps that they teased? Do you guys like the looks of these maps, or maybe not? And also, how are you feeling about the fact that Recon is going to be nerfed, and it appears they're going to be at least buffing some of the SMGs? Just let me know down below. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.